Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How you all doing today? It's another time behind radio, and this time I'm going to share with you a moment of myself reading the news like I promised a couple of people who sent me a message. So yeah, take this as my behind radio part 2, and I hope it's going to be helpful for you. Don't judge me. Like I say, we're all in a process together. We're all on a journey together, and every time I share videos like this is not to show you that I am perfect, because trust me, I am not. It's just to give you 1 or 2 tips, guide on how to be better as a presenter, newscaster, or anything you choose to do in media. So guys, come along with me as I take the news at 10, and afterwards I'll be sharing some tips that helped me become a better news reader. And maybe afterwards you can share your questions and everything you want to ask me in the comment section down below. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get it. It's almost 10 o'clock. Anyway, stay right here with me. Remember to like and subscribe. You're listening to Lasso Radio 95.7. The time is 10 o'clock. Good morning, Lagos. Welcome to the Lasso Radio News Update at 10. I am Elesho Muyosori-Oluwa. The federal government on Monday advised Nigerians not to panic as the country now has a second coronavirus case. It said the latest carrier of the virus is one of the 62 direct contacts of the Italian index case in Lagos and Ogun State, who are currently on isolation. The good news, according to the federal government, is that a team of Nigerian researchers have successfully performed the genome sequencing of the coronavirus strain that the index case brought into Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday set up its presidential task force to spearhead the campaign against the novel coronavirus in Nigeria. The task force, headed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, was in response to the potential effects of the pandemic on healthcare services in the country and the economy. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, said the task force would coordinate multi-sectional actions in the event of an escalated outbreak. Meanwhile, the Kano State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, on Monday dethroned the 14th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, after the traditional ruler's 5 years on the throne. The Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Usman Alhaji, in a statement in Kano on Monday, stated that the removal of Sanusi, whose grandfather, Muhammadu Sanusi I, was disposed in 1963, was unanimously approved by the State Executive Council. Before the state government announced Sanusi's dethronement at 11 a.m. on Monday, there were signs that the major decision was in the offing, as heavily armed security agents were drafted to the major parts of the city, including the palace of the monarch. About 6 hours after Sanusi was disposed, the state government announced Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, a son of the 13th Emir of Kano, Alhaji Ado Bayero, who died in 2014, as the successor to the dethroned monarch. In education, Academic Staff Union of Universities also has begun a 2-week warning strike with effect from today. Its national president, Professor Biodun Okunyemi, announced this at the end of the union's National Executive Council meeting at the Enugu State University of Science and Technology. Oguyemi said the strike is aimed at compelling the federal government to implement the agreement and resolution of the Memorandum of Action both parties reached under the 2009 ASU-FGN Agreement, the 2013 Memorandum of Understanding, and the 2017 Memorandum of Action, and it said none of these had been implemented. On the foreign scene, 5 senior U.S. Republicans have quarantined themselves after coming into contact with a person who tested positive for coronavirus. The members of Congress, who include Texas Senator Ted Cruz, self-isolated after they shook hands with an infected individual at a conference. President Donald Trump, who was also at the event last month, insists he is in good health and has not taken a test. One Democrat has also self-isolated after she met someone with the virus, and there are more than 700 confirmed cases in the U.S. and 26 people have died so far. And finally, in sports, the Nigerian Football Federation and League Management Company have put modalities in place to ensure players' health is taken care of during league matches. The The move comes less than 24 hours after the death of Nasarawa United defender Chinemem Martins in Nigerian Professional Football League match against Katsina United, played at the Lafayette Township Stadium on Sunday. Martins, who died after slumping in the first half of the match, was taken to the hospital immediately as the Peugeot 406 ambulance stationed at the match venue failed to start. The player was eventually rushed in one of the vehicles on the convoy of Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule, who was in the stadium to watch the match. A video which was shared online also showed crowds gathered around the player trying to resuscitate him. The NFF met with the LMC and officials from the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development on Monday to discuss the incident and chart a way forward. The football body released a statement after the meeting. And that is a news update at 10 o'clock. Thanks for staying tuned. This is Lassa Radio 95.7. The morning rush continues. Good morning. Okay guys, so that's the news at 10. I promised earlier that after showing you a video of me taking the news, I was going to share a couple of tips on how to be better at news reading. And well, I must first state that when it comes to news reading, there's actually nothing serious. It's nothing serious at the end of the day. It just takes extra attention because you are reading on the spot. You're trying to ensure that you have your sound or your words sounded correctly, as well as follow the important or necessary pace as you read your news. But at the same time, you should understand that news reading starts with how much you can find comfort in your speaking. If you're already comfortable with how you speak, you definitely would find it easy to navigate through news reading. To be very honest, I stated this when some people asked me to share some tips on news reading, that I did not start up news reading as very cool. I didn't start up this good, you know. It took a lot of practicing, a lot of trying over and over again before I could find comfort and balance in news reading. I started reading news at Delta Broadcasting Service, and to be very honest, it wasn't good at the beginning. In fact, most of the time it was always war between myself and my boss, who would come out to shout, scream, oh, you murdered that name, oh, you did this, oh, you do that, you did that. So I was always very conscious. As a matter of fact, whenever it's time for me to take the news, I'm always very shaky. Like I am sweaty. The AC is on and I am all shaky and sweaty because I don't know what to expect. But one of the things I started with at the time was to ensure that I read my news bulletin before the time for the news. So if I'm taking the news, say at 4, I am reading my bulletin maybe 30 minutes before to get familiar with the names, the words, and everything that I need to sound. And I also did a check in that process to see how some of the words I'm not familiar with are sounded. Although some, after I got comfortable with news reading, I stopped some of those things, but it's not good anyway. It's always cool if you check out your news bulletin before you read it, so that you will not stumble on any word and nothing will come as a surprise to you. But sometimes I take the news while I am already presenting on air, and it's always very difficult to find time to read the bulletin before I go on air. And because I'm the one compiling it, I just feel like, okay, I'll just do this, I can do this, so I'm always very extra careful. I make sure that I am reading my words as carefully as I can. And one of the secrets to news reading also is opening your mouth to sound the words as they are, because most times they have people who try to form a different kind of intonation when they are taking news. Trust me, I don't think it's necessary. The way you speak is the way you read your news. The only difference is that the fact that you're sounding those words correctly, you will definitely sound a bit different from the normal way you sound when you're presenting. So it's really nothing difficult. Just make sure that you are comfortable. My boss taught me at the time, says do not sit on your voice. Make sure you're sitting straight so that your voice can come out as sharp as it ought to, and then you just say those words one after the other in the right way. Also note that names are very important in news reading, so you can't afford to murder anybody's name. You're sounding those names the way they ought to, whether Igbo, Hausa, Latin American, or whatever it is. That's why it's always good to have confirmation of those words before you read your news. And trust me, it's okay to make mistake, but remember to just go over the thing without necessarily making it obvious that you just made a mistake. You are the one with the script. Nobody has your script, so why not try out whatever you want to read and then just go over it as smoothly as you can. But don't beat yourself up for making a mistake. You can only get better. If you saw me from watching me read the news, you notice that my eyes skipped some things, which is absolutely normal. I've got an eye condition which I'm still trying to fix, but notwithstanding, I'm doing so well to ensure that I take my words one after the other and I'm not rushing things at the end of the day. So don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake doing that, because I mean, who doesn't make a mistake? But remember not to pause, make it obvious, or start saying, oh sorry, I really don't like to do that. I just take the word again, or whatever word it is again, and then I move on because I'm the one with the script. So guys, that's about it on news reading. Remember that practice makes perfect. You need to keep practicing. Lay your hands on newspapers, try it out over and over again, and don't be scared to have people listen to you or record your own voice as you take the news. But the first thing is that you need to be comfortable with how you speak, you need to be comfortable with how you sound, and you need to keep practicing to be a better news reader. I hope these tips would help you try out news reading as much as you can, as I just took you on another experience of me behind radio. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Elisha Moyoseraluwa, and yes, I'd hope to do this again with how to do this again sometime soon. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye.